So you played a cool game and now you want to become an indie game developer. Welcome. This video is for anyone who is interested in beginning game development, whether you're just an indie game dev for now or hope to become part of a team. I want to share just a little bit of insight on how I plan my projects and my games. Alright, so let's simplify the complicated process that it is building a whole game. In the example that I am using today is a battleship game. This game will be a multiplayer game. So instead of just blindly going in and setting up a scene, I like to think about it from afar and architect it in such a way that I can manage it in small pieces.
Alright, so let's begin with a quick tip. What I will say is design something with the intentions of it being a demo. Start with a demo. If it makes it beyond the demo, good job. But let's keep it simple. What exactly has to be in that demo product? For me, I start with the title screen. It is the quickest, fastest way to grab the player's attention, give them some insight on what the game could be. This could be your place to do something fun with the title screen, put some cool music, maybe throw a little cutscene. Since they are relatively simple to set up, I think you should think about doing the game over screen at the same time as the opening scene. Alright, so let's assume that we're playing against an opponent, so the next screen I would think is player selection. This is a fun scene to try your art, add some story, some narrative to the players. For example, looking at the character board, you can select your characters. Let's make the game memorable, so let's put characters that are fun, characters that are, unique and have their own story. So when you're battling each other, it's like there's an element of story in it. So from there, the real meat of the project, of the demo, will then be the logic. So this is where your programming skills need to come into play, but not if you use AI. If you know some computer science, some programming, you can figure out some pretty simple stuff. And for this, I would say it's just a simple grid-based algorithm system where enemies can be placed within the given area. Let's say it's a box, so you just basically are manipulating data to, find each other throughout this grid or like this matrix thing. That's its own thing. I leave it separate. Anything logic related, I try to keep it all together because our brains are built up in different places. Well, for me anyway. If I'm doing something very logic based, I try to avoid things that are very art based because it's just too much overload for me. I'm either really good at one thing or nothing at all. So that's my approach to logic, is try to put all the logic in one place and try not to overcomplicate the logic as well, because you could go down the feature rabbit hole where everything needs to be fleshed out 100%. This is a demo. Let's get this as simple as possible so that we can get it to the play testing stage. So yeah, the playtesting stage is really the most important part of this whole process. So think about that as you navigate beyond the logic part. Animations is what I would work on towards the end. Since everything is hooked up, it becomes easier to attach the art, the style, to a working product as opposed to having flashy animations and putting them on broken code. So that's why I put it at the end. But by no means is this a definitive approach. It is one approach. It's how I approach things. I also put sound at the end because it deserves its own time and attention. I also put UI somewhere in there as a side quest because it definitely deserves a lot of time and attention. Alright, so just a recap on this approach, plan it out. Try to be practical. Put only what's necessary in a demo. Get it to the playtesting stage and have fun.